Okay, absent at this point is Doris Johnson, Jeremy Crispin, and I think Don will be here late. Okay. He did say at 10 o'clock that he was going to try to come. Okay, let's move into the agenda, please. Is there anybody else on Zoom or is it just Doris?
Just Doris right now.
All right, Doris, thanks for joining us.
Thanks.
Months of minutes to just review, and we can review all three of them at the same time and then do a consensus motion to accept all three, okay? So if anybody wants to take a look, I put them in order in the packet that I gave you, the June 21st minutes are the first ones to look at. Sorry.
I only printed out the current.
These minutes?
There's one right behind your chair.
Yeah.
On that other
there's a
chair.
Packet on some of the chairs in back of you, if you wanted to take a look. Yeah, we're looking at June way back first. Okay, and then we'll look at July and then we'll look at August. Okay, Paula, I can see under communications, just put none. Okay. Can't leave it blank. Because people are gonna like. It has to happen. Okay, and then on the second page, a couple of cute little things, no big deal. Point one, you picked it up, I think, on the other minutes, but they're not a point with an E on the end. That's under the building committee update. It's just point without an E. To discuss the center now and in the future. Okay. Spelling, and then this will be the first of 2 workshops by point 1. So does anybody else have anything on June? Okay, take a look at July, please. Have 2 quick things. When you look under community participants and you look under the senior center building committee members, put a stop period after Russell Werner. And maybe add something like also public members, Edie Twining and Kate Hewlett, because it makes the way it reads now, it makes it look like they're part of the building committee. And then under guests, just take out Rick Staub's name. It's, you know, it's all, there are usually 3 of them here. And anyway, it's misspelled, but that's okay, just take it out. You can just put point 1 architects everywhere. Does anyone have anything else for July? And I told Paula when she came in, these few tiny little errors are commendable because of the nature of our challenge of being seated like this and hearing. She's done a remarkable job. Okay. Under August, under present, after Gary, Gary's wife, Carol. And then you need to add, take out Deborah and Carol Diffley instead. Her name's Carol Diffley, not Deborah.
It's C-A-R-O-L-E.
I will do that.
You lost me totally.
Okay, under community participants,
Okay.
when you get second line down, after Carol Reed, Gary's wife, comma, Carol, her name, and then Carol again, same spelling, Diffley, and her name is not Diffley. And then you need to add Denise Pierce, the town nurse in VNA. And that's DENISEPIERSA as part of that panel. And then under guests, am I going too fast? Okay, under guests, just take out Rick Stott's name again. Okay. Does anybody have any other corrections or additions to those 3 months of minutes? And a motion to accept the minutes as corrected for the months of June, July, and August 2021. Okay, Sue, second, Diana. Okay. We can move on to the treasurer's report, but before we move on to the treasurer's report, I have an announcement. Don approached me this week and he has some health concerns that he needs to address. He said it was okay for me to tell you that. Okay, he is coming, but he needs to step down as treasurer. But Jane stepped up, so Jane is now our new treasurer. Okay, and Jackie is waiting in the wings to help you anytime you need it, okay? All right, so congratulations, Jane, and thank you for stepping up.
Thank you both for doing this job, really.
Okay, when Don comes, we will thank him for his work. Okay. But let's take a look at the treasurer's report. Again, it's a cumulative report from June to now. And if you want to take a look at it and address anything that you have questions about or are unclear about. Yeah,
Yeah, that was, a big portion of that was for Barbara,
for
the
Barbara.
Blackma.
Yeah. Okay, okay, one thing, Jane, that you may point out too, on the second page where it says VFW donation, building and rental fees. If that's gonna be part of the template, it needs to have an answer, so it should be 0 or 0, okay? Anything that we produce as a public document can't have blank spaces. So. Hey, Don, welcome. Don, why don't you have a seat right over here, huh? Oh, you want to go see James? Okay. Diana, do you need another one? Or you're all set? Okay, we don't have to vote on the treasurer's report. I just need to know if there's any concerns, questions, except for the thing that I said. Yeah, Jane.
Okay, so, let's see, under June 27, I see a fee for big live water for the subway luncheon, but I don't actually see the subway luncheon that combined somewhere else for June.
That, I'm looking right now.
It's down under August 13th.
Yeah,
August for 70, but then I see another one for the.
yeah, those were,
luncheon for 79, so those look kind of similar for July and August, or.
no, so the one that was put in on August 10th was actually for the July, end of July, or end of, let me think about this for a minute. That is for, we've only done one subway one, so it's for that same luncheon. And then August came up and that was I don't know why that says big. So, so these two that were paid in August were just bills that were, for July, but I can verify with you on that. No problem. But those are all for, yeah, those were all for the luncheon. I'm wondering if this June 27th is a wrong date, but we'll figure that out. But yeah, that's all. So that we've had one, wait, we've had now, did we do two or one? We've done two Subway lunches. We just did one. So in August, and then in July, we did the other one, the Lions Club. Yeah. So I had to think about that because I wasn't here for that last luncheon. But
Okay, so the August Subway one is.
that one is for August. And then we did July, we did the Lions Club, although it says August 20th because I just put it in. And then,
And you know, that's fine.
yeah,
If it's under August, but
right.
we can just put, I can just update this and say that it's for the July.
Yeah.
Just so that
It's clearer. Yeah, we need it to be clearer. Okay, fine.
No problem.
Good catch.
just one more question.
Sure.
So, I see that there's different reimbursements for the sit and be fit and for the, in Wilson supplements. And is that just due to the number of classes that were in that month?
Correct. And how many participants? So the classes that first came back, some of them were based on, they would make at least $50 a class. So if they didn't, then we would supplement it. And if they only did 3 that month, or if they did, like I know for a fact in June, looking at the Sit and Be Fit, that's 150, which we always pay right out, that is 3 classes. So I know the yoga was only based on 3 classes. Where yeah, so.
Okay. Anything else? Okay. Okay, before we move on, Don, we already announced that Jane is taking over as treasurer, but we want to make sure we go on record as saying thank you very much, sir, for all the work that you've done. Okay, and yeah, thank you so much. Okay. All right, let's move on. We don't have to vote on the question. We're in community reports now, so Stephanie, you're up.
All right. Sure. Okay, hi, everybody. So let's see. We are really starting to get into things here. We're really starting to get into different classes and programs. This past month, we've just started, actually today, we just started up our TAP classes. We'll be integrating, sorry, some strengthening your way classes, which I already have about 13 people signed up for. That starts next week. We're continuing. We also started a Monday afternoon or Monday night evening class outside on the lawn of yoga. And we've got our movies back. We're playing cards again. So we are really starting to put more and more programs on the calendar. I can't be happy about that. One special program that I'm going to be announcing to the membership in October is something that I'm finding near and dear to me, and I'm still working out the details, but on October the 14th, we're gonna have at 10 in the morning, we're gonna have a kickoff for a walkathon of sorts. And why I say a walkathon of sorts is that we are going to do a walking program where it's going to be a fundraiser that we are going to, I'm going to talk to different businesses, different senior centers to see if they will participate with us. But what I would like to do is we would like to do a pedometer reading of everybody's pedometers, if you're one of the members, one of the people signed up. And we want to try to walk all the way to Afghanistan, which is 6,671 steps, I believe, or miles. So what we're going to do is they're resettling over 300, I think it's like 310 plus Afghans here in Connecticut. And I thought, what a wonderful thing to do a fundraiser to help them that are coming here with stuff that they may need. So I'm going to reach out to Lamont's office. I know that they have a task force now. See if it's supplies or see if it's money that they need for an organization that's supplying stuff for them. But I thought, what a neat way to make a difference and make a difference in our health at the same time. So that was my thought, is everybody would have a pedometer that wanted to participate, and we would probably ask everybody for a suggested donation and put in parentheses, if you don't have it, please still participate, of $5. Reach out to the different town organizations that might be willing to also sponsor the program.
Can you be a little clearer about the walk to Afghanistan part?
Yeah. So okay, can you hear me better that way?
Yeah.
Oh, okay, I was, okay, sorry.
You're swallowing it. So it's,
roughly it's 6,671 miles to Afghanistan. So my hope is that we're kicking it off on October 14th. My hope is that with everybody walking and recording their steps and calling once a week to give us their step totals, that we can reach that many miles. It's about 2,000 steps per mile. So if everybody can, we're hoping that with us and other senior centers that I'm going to be trying to recruit, which I can't imagine they wouldn't want to be part of this, because it's a pretty incredible thing to be able to do two things at once, and then if they are able to collect the money as well from their participants, we would get it all together, and we would either, which I'm still working on the details, either donate supplies or donate the money to the organizations that are doing it. So it's almost the 6,671 is like a milestone for us to try to reach. So that's.
So that's the recording part of it. People will record their own mileage and then
Right.
submit it.
Or your steps, because I can turn it into miles. So.
Okay, that's clear.
No. The way we're gonna do it is I'm gonna reach out to businesses and say, hey, will you consider being a sponsor for $50? And this is what we're doing. So we'll go mostly to, so if you think of an organization in town that that you want to reach out to, go right ahead and you can send them my way. Otherwise, I'm going to be calling and I'm going to be asking other senior centers that want to participate to do the same thing in their area. So the majority of the money would be coming, and then we would put out a big bulletin about all the businesses that actually sponsored the program, which would be a donation of $50 or more. So yeah, so I just think that's a great way to show. I also will be reaching out to the day and reaching out to Line and stuff to help us publicize it. So we can do as much good as we can. Yep. So we're having the kickoff October 14th. If you start later, you can still join in, but we're going to be going October 14th to December, the end of December. And end of December.
Yeah, that's a good
And
time.
steps can be in your house. They can be while you're cleaning your toilets. They can be, they don't have to be an actual walk when it gets cold out, you know what I mean? But I just thought that would be great. And if I can get the art students involved, I'm thinking of them drawing me a big mountain and having different levels so we can paint it in as we work our way through. So anyways, just a thought. That is pretty much. Sure.
Just to make one thing clear, the board's not kicking in any money.
No,
Okay, no, just to make it clear. For the record.
no, we are not asking. Also, we are going to be having other events going on. We're going to be doing another outdoor luncheon. They seem to be very popular. I spoke with Coffee's Market, and we're going to be making half wraps, and we'll be providing the chips and the water. So, and that will be the $5. And we should pretty much make as much as we need. We won't probably have to supplement it. If it will be, it won't be that much. And the October 13th at 12 o'clock. So you can sign up for here and eat outside, or you can sign up to go and take it with you. We have an Energy Assistance Day on October 20th from 10 to 2. So if people need help and they getting their stuff filled out for energy assistance from Lyme and Old Lyme, we'll be doing that here from 10 to 2 on October 20th. We've got a two-part art program. We've been doing art classes through the month of September. We're going to be doing one in October. That's the 4th and the 25th, working on watercolor washes and skies. So that should be interesting. We've got a new instructor that Jeanette Green has, the students have been taking to and liking the way she teaches. So
How much of
the classes are $6 each. So this particular workshop is going to be $12 because it's a two-part class. So tentatively, I didn't know about, might be later on in the thing, but I have down tentatively of doing a ceremony on October 27th for the memorial brick ceremony. Now, my hope is that we'll have the bricks in by then, but if we don't, we'll still do the ceremony and we'll add the bricks as soon as we can. If for some reason it gets too cold and we can't dig them up, to put them in, then, but hopefully.
Let's table the Memorial Garden until we get to it on the agenda, please.
Gotcha.
Because we have a discussion that we have to have about how to organize it.
Gotcha. And last but not least, well, not last, I mean, but, two things. Flu shots. They will be taking place at the middle school on October 16th. It's going to be a drive-through, just like it was last year with the Old Lyme VNA doing those. It is going to be 9 to 1. This year you have to be 18 or over. So they've dropped the age, but just know that they are not the high dose. So if you're looking for the high dose, you may want to reach out to your pharmacy and see if they carry it.
Or your doctor.
Or your doctor, yeah, good call.
Hold on. Got a question.
I don't know. I just know when if you need more details, you may want to call the VNA. I don't know. They just told me it's not high dose. So I'm not sure. Sure. Yes. All our members take classes. So if you live in Lyme or Old Lyme, you take classes. If you're a member from out of town, you still take classes.
Yeah, it's just like it's
only members you have in order to take any classes and just like it always has been,
no matter where you come from.
Yeah, so we started up our trips in September. They went to the Botanical Gardens in New York, and we're heading to Van Gogh in Boston, a Van Gogh thing in October. They are very well attended. I think I have 21 people signed up for October. And we have another one coming in December to Newport. So, last but not least, I would like to have another Halloween parade. Obviously, Halloween falls on a Sunday, so we were thinking about doing it the Friday before. Last year we did it, and it was really nice because we had the 29th of October. We had handed out apple cider donuts and apple cider, and we had people dress up, and we gave out a prize for the person that got the most Facebook hits. We put everybody on Facebook.
It was really competitive
Yeah.
and really fun.
So
It was a lot of fun.
yeah, so we want to do that again this year. That's about it.
Great.
Gosh, yeah.
Okay, facilities update. That's you
Oh,
again.
back to here. Sorry. Facilities, blah, blah, blah. So we did the Ansel system and they replaced the fire suppression system in there because it was dated. And we have had a couple of, we've had the air filters changed and stuff. And so we are doing very well. I think that's about it.
Okay, under old business, or unless anybody has any questions for staff about what she's just reported. Okay, under old business, we do have the Memorial Garden. So we do know that we're looking at the 27th of October. And might make a suggestion that we say that, what day of the week is that?
Wednesday.
A Wednesday. That if it's possible, because of the crazy weather that we've been having, when we actually reach out to people about this, that we can do a rain date as well.
Why don't we do the 28th as a rain date?
Okay.
Yes, because it's going to be outdoors, so it won't
Yeah.
affect what's going on indoors. So.
Right, okay. Yeah, and we have, what, about 12 people to visit, about 12, 11 or 12? bricks?
Yeah, I don't have
Yeah.
it on me. I'm sorry.
Yeah, we've got quite a few bricks to actually produce and install. In the past, we haven't done this celebration for almost 3 years now. In the past, though, when we've invited family members. We've also set up a podium outside and had people come up to eulogize anyone that they wish to do that for. And I think that was so well received the first time we did it, that we need to repeat that kind of a process. If anybody has any other suggestions about what we should do, and then we had cake. But I think we might want to forego the food this time, maybe, and just have maybe bottled water. Or if we can do donuts that are individually wrapped, or something that's individually wrapped. We can still do something, but that's something that will need some organizing. So if anybody on the board is willing to participate in organizing that, let Stephanie know, okay? I think the biggest part is we have a whole month now to reach out to the families of the people that, I'll take care of George Kinzer, I'll tell you right now, because I've already been on the phone with his wife a few times. And so I'll take care of him. If anybody wants to volunteer to contact a particular person on the list or just help out generally, let Stephanie know, okay? Okay. Boy, that's an annoying dumb. I'm sorry, Don. Let's talk when she gets back. I think it'll probably be in the afternoon if there are morning programs going on. So usually we did it last time, we did it in the afternoon. So I think that'll probably happen again. Let's check with her because she's the calendar person, okay? And if you come up with any additional names for anybody, let her know ASAP because it takes a while for her to get those bricks done, okay? What time did you think for the ceremony?
1 o'clock.
1 o'clock.
Sorry.
Any other questions about the Memorial Park? And just let everybody know to get in touch with you. Okay, about
Very good.
how they might want to help.
Mhm.
Joni, oh, of course. Joni.
I don't even have to write her name down. I got.
Okay.
Oh.
Okay. Moving on. Under new business, the building committee. Don is also a member of that as well. And what I can tell you is that I have been on the phone and meeting with the architects pretty much weekly. And what they are charged with is to come up with 3 conceptual plans, not building plans, but conceptual plans that may lead to a building plan. That's their charge under a feasibility study and cost estimates. And that's going to be done, hopefully, because lit the fire the other day and said, please have it done by October 13th, which is our next building committee meeting. It's here at 5 o'clock. all our meetings are public, just like this meeting. So they will be coming to present those 3 plans. When they do, we know that whatever we present to the 2 towns, things will change. We may not get everything we want, but those conceptual plans gives us ammunition for fundraising, but also ammunition to say, this is what people feel the future of the center. This is the direction it should go in. Because we're looking, our charge as a building committee, when we formed this committee in 2019, our promise to the 2 towns is that we would look 15 to 20 years down the road, not just a stopgap measure, quick fix. So thank you again for participating in those workshops. You guys were amazing. And I'm really looking forward to seeing what they come up with. And they do know that we're under constraints. We're going to have to fight for funding. We're going to have to do fundraising down the road. But I've already talked to the state of Connecticut, OMB, about the possibility of steep grant. If we'd be eligible, and we would be if the towns agree to it and we have money, they have, and the money's there when we have a building plan. Okay. And I reached out to Joe Courtney the other day. Because in the past, he has helped other senior centers get grants for under federal grant money for various things under different departments in the federal government. So I'm waiting to hear back from his office to see what he might suggest we do. I'm trying as the chair of the committee to think a year ahead. But I also would love to see us break ground and do something within the next 2 years. Because I'd really like to be alive when this happens. It would be nice. So that's basically the update that I have. Don, did you want to add anything to that? Okay, great, thanks. Does anyone have any questions? Yay, okay. Okay, we have under the next thing under new business, Stephanie has a request for some funds that she needs. There you go.
Thank you. Okay, so one of the things I was gonna ask for this month, I'm gonna put off till next month, but I'm gonna tell you what it is. The reason I'm putting it off is because the one that I was looking at is no longer available and I just have to research the prices. But I'm looking to get a small shed that will literally just fit the table outside in it with the books and puzzles on it. That seems to be a really big thing that people are enjoying, and I want to keep it up, but I want to protect it through the winter. And so my thought is next month I'll come back with it to see if we can purchase a small, like 4x6 shed. So I will come back with it. Yeah. Sure.
You know, for boats on the docks, they have these boat boxes, they're weatherproof and that kind of stuff. And I thought if you put boxes out in front of some sort, you know, one for each different area, it might be something.
Space problem.
Say what?
There's a space problem. We have, what we need, we need to clear that sidewalk, that side of the sidewalk because of the handrail and the handicap access, I think.
We ran out of battery. Is that, nope. We're talking loud. Sorry.
Okay. Where the tables are now
Right.
actually impede handicap access.
Yeah.
So everything, Stephanie and I were talking the other day, everything would go on the other side of the door.
Okay.
But she's looking into whatever would be appropriate and would not conflict with the sidewalks and access
Right.
into the building.
Right. Well, I'll go back to it again, but
Yeah.
you know, because this is something that if you could sit on it, if you need to. You know what I mean? It's that high.
Yeah, I know exactly what you're talking about, but the idea is that they have to be open and accessible during working hours.
Right.
And the idea is to have them shut down after working hours. So if you have a box with a lid on it, somebody wants to sit on it, somebody else can't get into it.
Yeah, but I'm just saying.
Yeah, no, it's a great idea to think about outside the box. Yeah, proper stuff.
Yeah.
You also want it to be tracked. You don't want,
Right, well, I was thinking one of those plastic small sheds that literally would go against the building on the other side and kind of be out of the way, but I like the idea, not to say, and I'll research that too, but I like the idea of having a table out there with the boxes in it. What? Yeah, yeah. Yeah, and I don't really limit the time of day.
I know, honey, but you gotta do it. I'm sorry.
That the time of day, like some people come after hours as it works better the weekend. So I like to leave it open. But the problem is when you have like these hurricane and rainstorms, they've got to be brought in every time because, otherwise.
Yeah, the other thing I.
No, I know. No, I mean, the way it is now.
Well, the other thing I suggested, and I don't know if you have had a chance to look, is to look at the one that the library
Mhm.
cover that they have. Really good. Yeah, if you haven't. looked at it-
I looked at it. The only thing is I kind of think you have more room if you, like those had shelving in it. So like, I almost think you have more room to have those big clear boxes because you can put more in there. I did go take a peek.
Yeah, but the idea, I think you need to weigh the volumes together, because if you have books that are stacked on top of each other in a box, that same stack could be put on a shelf. Possibly. I think it's just a matter of like figuring out.
Yeah.
But those shelves, that cupboard has a nice lock on it.
Yeah.
It's flatter against the wall, but it also,
It might have problems with puzzles.
yeah,
Depending how-
well, I think you need.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's probably somebody for the next meeting. You can just have them wait out in the. Thanks.
Yeah, I mean, when you're doing your research, maybe.
Yeah, I'll weigh everything, definitely.
Okay.
So now I'm gonna ask for funds, now that I told you I wasn't for that November. So for the Halloween parade, I am asking for $350. I'm hoping to do the cider and the donuts, and possibly if we have enough to do the pumpkins. And I also wanted to get a gift card so we can, for the winner of the of the costume thing. So, and we could even do two $25 ones, one for the best car and one for the best costume. That's what we did last year. Because some people like to decorate their car. So I was asking for 350 for that, and I was asking for up to 350. And I was asking for up to $100 for pedometers. So I saw pedometers, they were about, I think they were about, I think they're about just under $1 a piece, but I just want to make sure that I can get that kind. Otherwise, they're like $5 a piece
For what?
for pedometers,
For what?
for the Afghan program, so that
No,
we can.
You're asking for the board to give you money for a fundraiser that you haven't even put together yet.
But it's also a program,
It's also a program.
because it's a walking program that we're doing. So we will be providing the people in our membership, not all the memberships, but with pedometers if they needed it.
Okay, so the pedometers will be for our members only.
Correct.
Okay, all right, that makes sense. Yeah.
Oh, of course they can.
Yeah, I would figure out how many people you're actually talking about before you buy them.
Well, I will,
Yeah.
but I'm asking for up to $100 so that I can be prepared to buy, because we are gonna kick that off on October 14th. So we need the supplies by that point. Yes.
Oh,
How much money did we spend last,
I think it was more.
We had leftovers.
I think it was more, because I would have to look. I don't know, Diane, I'm so sorry. But I have in my head that it was more because we had a whole bunch of decorated pumpkins that we gave out.
Yeah, and we also had a lot left over.
Mhm.
For food and pumpkins. We were like all bringing them home.
Right.
Well, they're for two different programs, so I think we should have two different votes.
I second the motion.
Who's, Jane, you seconded it?
Second.
Okay. Any further discussion on the first motion? All those in favor? Aye. Anybody opposed? Doris, are you okay with that?
Doris?
Yeah,
You okay with the first request for the 350?
For the
yes,
Halloween,
I am.
Okay, fine, okay, it's a unanimous, motion passed. Second motion for the 100, up to $100. Okay, Diane and Jane again, okay.
No, it's Joni.
Joni, I'm sorry, hon. Okay. Any further discussion on that motion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Okay, motion carried. All right.
Yeah.
All right, under new business, is there any other new business? I only have one thing I think you, people might need to know that might not know. Okay. The tent. Can you explain what happened to the tent?
yes, global warming. No, we had really bad weather and the tent turned into a pretzel. However, I was completely sick about it because I had gotten the warranty with it. And they gave me back the money for the warranty and said, they don't cover weather events. I said, so why else would you have?
An outside tent that could be having a weather.
So,
event.
I still am completely sick about it. However, I do want to assure the board that this money did not come from the board. It came from that special grant that we got, that we put in to get that tent along with other things. So I wanted to assure you that, you know, that money was from that, but yes, that's what happened to the tent. It turned into a pretzel.
Sad, sad moment. All right, any other new business? Okay, members of the public.
Oh, I think Kathy had one more.
Oh, sorry, Kathy?
I just have a question.
Sure.
I don't know. It's a question. We have $117,000. What is the reason we keep so much in that account? I mean,
Yeah, so nobody else can take it.
It's, so,
That's the short answer.
It must be like you want to put 100,000 in. Is that the reason?
No, it's just how much money we have.
Okay.
And that's because we were graced with that $125,000 legacy that the town fought about and tried to take.
Yeah.
For the general fund that was determined legally to be ours.
Right.
So we have a wonderful base
Yeah.
that if we need to do something spectacular for programs or something in the future, that it can be used. But right now, we're safeguarding that money so that nobody else takes it.
So like general fund doesn't take it.
Right.
Okay, but we could use that money if we don't get taken care of when the building project is done. We could use some of that money to do.
Okay, that's gonna be part of their argument, is that we have that money and that we should use it. But we're gonna say, your responsibility by our constitution and bylaws that you signed off on, both towns, in 2019 was the last time, 2018, 2019, when we revised the constitution. They're responsible for capital improvements of the grounds and the building. Okay, so when we get ready as the building committee to fight for the next round of funding, they're gonna be reminded of that, because sometimes the boards of finance don't know our constitution and bylaws. The selectmen do.
Yeah.
Okay. But we don't want them to touch that money.
Right.
Because we don't, the idea is the future may be that funding fundraising for donations might dry up. There are other things that could happen that could impact the programs here, and we're protecting the programs because neither town gives us money for programs.
Okay.
Okay, but they're responsible for this building and the grounds and any improvements. We are gonna be faced with, you need to raise some more money. But I mean, one of the things I've got the fundraising, I've got all the donors who donated to the library renovation project. I've got a list, there's a couple hundred of those. We're gonna be dealing as a building committee with possibly doing some fundraising, like I mentioned before, or being able to go to these boards who are gonna need to be convinced that they don't want to spend too much money.
Right.
Okay. That we're doing our due diligence, but the money for this center that's in that account, as far as I'm concerned, is sacred at this point. If we as a board decide to bump in any more to the building, like say we want to do a special window or something that's dedicated to someone or dedicated to the board. If we want to do another 10 grand or 15 grand like we did originally, then we'll discuss it then, but not yet. Yeah, no,
But I mean,
no.
there wasn't anything when we first started out, Sue, that they said, okay, $82,000.
No. Yeah, and my argument for the building committee is going to go to these boards and say, you did the schools, you've done the libraries, you renovated town hall, you renovated these other buildings. It's our turn.
I know, I'm sorry.
It's our turn. Yeah, it is. I mean, especially when 50% of the people who live in Old Lyme are 50 and older.
You know, I think the biggest statement for us is in the newspaper. So the
There will
more
be.
we get put in the newspaper for our project and our like marathon, like, you know, the walkathon, I think those are the things that convince people that, oh my gosh, you know, you talk about the tap dance and stuff and how it's.
Yeah, how many tap
And
dancers?
it was like, oh my God, and people know.
Yeah,
The more we get in public press, I think the better it is. So,
Yeah, the publicity is going to really matter.
Yeah.
Yeah, Stephanie and I talked about that a lot.
Yeah.
Okay. And from the building committee perspective, like just this morning, I met with the editor of the Connecticut Examiner on my way here. And to let him know about the building committee meeting on the 13th. So they're going to be sending a reporter to actually see what's happening with those conceptual plans. I'm in touch with New London Day, Limelight, and the Connecticut Examiner in 3 hours. Stephanie's the same thing with her end of what she needs to publicize. Okay, so we need to work together to show the 2 roads that are being followed, you know, by 2 separate entities, because I'm still fighting with people to make them understand that the building committee is not a subcommittee of this board.
Right.
It is an independent town-appointed, 2 town-appointed committee of really good people. I mean, if you have a chance to come to the October 13th meeting, we've got remarkable people in that group. Don will agree because he's one of them. Okay. Right, Don? Oh, yeah. You'll I said, we've got remarkable people on the building committee and you're one of them. Yeah. But when we've gone before the boards of finance in the past, and when we go before them again next year, at the beginning of the year, for the next phase, the building committee funding, we need people to show up at those meetings. Because that's the only way that we're gonna get pressure built. They can be in any newspaper, but as long as those boards don't see people showing up at those public meetings, they won't care as much. So we'll be getting the word out.
I had experience with your school.
But I've been watching some of the responses to some of the things that have been happening in Lyme and online in public meetings, and all of a sudden, people are starting to show up. You know, so it's, I think, like I said, it's our turn. That's gonna be my mantra. It's our turn. We deserve it. And we vote. Okay, anything under other new business? Public comment. Here. Carol, you have anything you want to say? We're good, okay. Our next regular meeting is October 18th. Here again at 1 o'clock. And we will always be doing a combination of Zoom and in person until this pandemic lets us do fully in person. Okay. So I ask for a motion to adjourn. Diana, she's hot to do motions today. Okay. Second? Joni, okay. Dynamic duo. Okay, any discussion on that motion? If you want to stay here? Okay, all right, all those in favor? Say
Hi.
Okay, thanks, Doris. We'll see you next month, okay? Feel better.
Okay.
And we adjourned at 2:04.